Hi everybody, welcome to All Games New and Old. I'm David Rodriguez.
I'm Hillary Rodriguez.
And today we're going to be reviewing the legendary Marvel Studios What If starter set. This particular set came out in 2023, though the original game came out in 2012, and it is designed by Devin Lowe.
It's a 1 to 5 player game. It says it plays in 30 to 60 minutes. I think that's going to be fairly accurate as long as you're not playing at that really high end player count. I don't think there's a lot of analysis paralysis to slow down this game, but there can definitely be a lot of combos that you have to think about that can take a while.
Yeah, because you're like the combo queen. You're like, hold on, I'm drawing all these cards and I'm playing all these down. Hold on, let me figure out how this chain reaction of 28 cards is going to play out. Yeah, so it could happen, but in general, it's not that hard to decide what you're going to do. In general, this is one of our favorite games.
It is.
We got in on the original starter set, and we've been collecting up stuff ever since. But this is a brand new starter set, so we figured we'd give it a look and talk about its own merits, and then kind of compare it to the original starter set at the end.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, the original set has been on our number one spot for the most part in our top 50 games.
Yeah, so. Last year when we did it, it took over the number one spot for me from Arkham Horror. So it's we like the game.
Yeah.
Does this one screw it up though? I don't know. We'll find out. So let's go to art and components.
For the artwork, as far as I can tell, it looks like it's mostly screenshots from the What If series, which if you haven't seen the What If series, it's kind of similar to the new art style that's coming out that a lot of animation is doing, where it's a combination of 2D and 3D art, kind of similar to the Spider-Verse movies that have come out lately.
Yeah, it's cool. Look, I think there's a second series of What If, I think, that I have not seen. I've only seen the first one.
I've watched both seasons, yeah.
But I did like it, and I like the look of it. It looks really cool. I haven't really gotten the other Marvel Studios sets of What If because I don't like the screenshots when it's real people and the rest of the cards are comic book art. I don't know why. It's just really it's jarring to me, and I don't like it. But this is still artwork in some way. I don't know if it's computer. I think it's probably somewhat computerized. I don't know, but it does look neat, and it's not as jarring to me as the photos would be. Yeah. Personally, I don't know if I'm the one who's bothered by that, but I am.
I think it depends on how integrated it is. If it's a card in one of 50 cards, then it's wait, what? Yeah. But if it's pretty evenly spaced out, I don't think it bothers me as much.
Yeah, there's one thing I want to talk about with the set. It's kind of with artwork, but not that there's a problem with the artwork. It's fine. It's just, and again, I don't know what the other Marvel Studios sets are like, but in terms of all the regular Legendary stuff, you have your basic cards that are good no matter what expansions you're using, right? You have your shield troopers and agents and officers and your wounds and et cetera, all that stuff, right? And this set changes the art on those so that it's all from the show, which I understand the reasoning for, but that actually bothers me a little bit because when they're just the basic cards that you're going to have a bunch of, I don't want 50 different versions or not, that's 50, it's two. It's two different versions, but I don't like it. It's okay. These cards look good. There's nothing wrong with the way these cards look, and I understand why they don't want that mix in the box. I get it. I don't prefer that.
It didn't bother me too badly, but it did when you did point out that Maria Hill is a normal trooper class instead of the shield officer in the main one. That did kind of take me a second of oh yeah, that's not that card that I'm used to it being. But because it is different artwork, it didn't my brain kind of shifted to it pretty quickly.
Yeah. I mean, it was fine. I'm nitpicking. I'm going to do a little more nitpicking here.
If we were trying to combine it, then it would bother me. If you're playing it as a standalone, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'll mix the heroes. I don't think I'm going to shuffle up the different agents, and that's just going to make
Well, and you have a max anyways, so unless you're
cheating,
running out cards, or if you're like our original set is getting pretty worn out.
Yeah.
So-
We got a replacement though, and I just haven't even opened it yet. But anyway, okay, I got one more nitpick here, and this has been true of nearly all of it, because I think there was a couple big sets that they did better at this with. Why on God's green earth, when they're packaging these decks together, why can't they have all of the same type of card together? Why are there like 4 packages that I have to unwrap of cards, and 3 of them have part of like Agent Carter's cards? Why on God's green earth can't you wrap them up with like cards? Every other game on my shelf does that. Every single other one. What is happening? And this is my upper deck, and they put out sports cards. Maybe they want you to think it's like a booster pack, so you never know what you're going to get when you open it up, and the next card you look at, it could be any goddamn card in the set. What the hell? Why do I have to go through all this organizing when I open this game? Come on, man. It's aggravating.
The only logical thing that I can think of is that like they're trying to make it so that each sealed deck has the same amount of cards, and so they have to separate them out that way. But still doesn't like really make sense. But that's the only thing that I can think of.
I'm okay with them padding the numbers of a pack with some of like the shield agents.
Yeah.
You know, something that you have a bunch of anyway. That's fine. Don't make me look through all these packs and separate all the heroes out on my table so I can put them on. I did the unboxing and I was happy. I was like, oh, they've been good about this lately. And then it was not good. And I was mad. And I had to be chill on the video.
The one issue that I have with the artwork components is the neoprene mat.
Mm-hmm.
I like having a neoprene mat, but like in this version, the neoprene mat is just a space theme, and you still have your city slots, and so it's kind of weird having just a general space theme and then having like sewer, rooftop, like that. It's supposed to like I didn't come across it in this set where like specific locations like interacted with specific cards, but I know from playing other versions there have been cards that will specifically affect like villains on the rooftop or something like that, and so just having that little extra visual of yes, this is a rooftop, this is a sewer, I think is helpful in a game like this.
I agree, and that's actually why I've never bought a neoprene mat like separately. They make a few. There's even a cool one with X-Men and Dark Phoenix, so it's obviously the best one. But same thing, like this spots where it's a city and the rooftop, whatever, is just the continuation of whatever the drawing is in the background, and it's not like the original board where it had those things. That annoys me. And you can make it themed for this if you wanted to. Like you could have like the top of some like space facility for a rooftop, and you could have someone jetting the poop into space for the sewer. I don't care. I don't like when the original board had them all drawn out. If they had never done that, I probably wouldn't even care. But because they did, now every time I see one of these neoprene mats and they don't do that, I'm like, what are you doing? It doesn't look like a rooftop. It looks like outer space. I can't stand on that. I'll die. You know?
Yeah.
I'm with you. I don't like that. This is all nitpicky to me. Like, I'm sounding very angry. I am angry about the card situation, but it's fine because it's worth it in the end. But, these are just things I wish they would do a little differently.
Yeah. It does have this neoprene mat, and I haven't seen the other neoprene mats, so I don't know. I don't have comparison to those, but just comparison to the original board. This does have some extra spaces, so like some extra spaces for chaos, some extra scheme twist cards. It doesn't have psychics. This version doesn't. This starter set doesn't have psychics, so I'm sure that's part of it. But
it didn't have sidekicks?
No. It has bystanders, but it doesn't have sidekicks.
I guess smart. Okay.
Or at least...
Sorry.
Yeah, no. So that's... but there's some extra spaces that aren't labeled, so if you're playing with this board and playing with sidekicks, you can easily use one of those extra spaces for them.
Yeah. Other than that, and personally, it's because of the necessity of putting the neoprene mat in there. There's a lot of empty space to put like foam things in there to keep your cards separated, and that is 100% fine because expansions. You're going to need a place to store all those expansions. That doesn't bother me one bit. I'm actually really glad because all the boxes we have are starting to get a little, they're starting to get a little tight. So,
Yeah, with all the expansions that we have, like we have the basic box and we have the X-Men box.
Yeah.
I believe
there's a couple more after that
like,
too.
Yeah, like we have like 3 boxes just full of cards for.
I think it's 4. I'm not sure, but it's a lot.
Well, definitely 4 when we add the set, but
yeah. So you need the space. It's fine. Don't get mad that there's extra space. You need it. Okay, so for theme, it is based on the Marvel What If TV series on Disney Plus, and that's a really cool series. I've actually heard, I don't know if this is the case, but I've heard that it didn't do that well, like ratings wise. I'm not sure, which makes it kind of a weird choice, I guess, for a starter set. But I think it's really good. You know, it's like, you know, what if this thing happened instead of this other thing? It's just a different, like a part of the multiverse, you know, a different take on what's going on. I think the first
series did well, but the second series has not good and has great reviews.
Yeah.
Watching both of them, I did enjoy the first season better. But
yeah. Now, was any of this stuff in here then, was any of it from just the second season? Like, I feel like all of it was kind of familiar to me, but I could be wrong.
There was definitely things that were from the second season. The Intergalactic Party Animals is from the second season. There's some screenshots that are from the second season, and some of it's a little bit of a crossover between the first season and the second season. So some of it I might be like, oh, I think it was in this season, but it was actually in the other season. But yeah, I think there's definitely some screenshots that are from the second season in here.
Yeah, okay. I was just curious because I didn't know. I was like, it's been a while since I watched that, and all this stuff seems like maybe I saw this, but I'm not sure. And
I could be wrong too, because when I watched the second season, I rewatched the first season first, so I could be just confusing them, but...
Yeah. This set does have some keywords that weren't in the first set, and those are pretty thematic. Like you have literally a what if keyword that, you know, lets you, your card will get like a bonus to its power or something if you can basically guess what the next card is going to be in your deck, what hero it is or what type of hero it is. So you'd you know, reveal the top card, and if it matches what you guessed, then you get whatever the bonus is. So it's got that. There's like an intergalactic party rampage or something like I can't remember exactly, something like that. So they really tried to theme some of the keyword stuff to the series, and when you look up the rules, it even kind of explains a little bit like why that keyword makes sense, I guess you could say, which is kind of a neat thing, I think. Well, since you watched What If more recently, how did you feel like the various card sets match up with the characters? Like, did they seem right to you, or were they just kind of like randomly they have these rules, or like what were your thoughts on that?
No, I think it feels like they really worked really almost hand in hand with the series, or like they definitely built this game really watching and thinking about the series. The cards make sense. You can really kind of feel like you're replaying some of the storylines in the series. So I think they did a really good job of incorporating what the show did in this game. So
right on. Yeah, that I wasn't sure about, because it's just been long enough for me that I'm like, I'm not totally certain anymore.
Yeah, it's like there might be a few things where it's a little bit of a stretch, but I think overall they did a good job of incorporating what happened in the show into the cards.
Right on. And the schemes are pretty cool. There's even like a, I'm not going to get the title right, but something like trash Earth with the galaxy's biggest party or something like that. Yeah. Like that's one of the schemes you can do. And, you know, things get weird if like Freya shows up and like all sorts of bizarre. Mm-hmm. It's pretty neat. They really, I think they did a good job trying to tie that to the show.
Yeah. So overall, I do enjoy the What If series, and so I do enjoy this game. For a starter set, I don't, like, unless you really, really like the What If series, I don't think I would start with this as my starter set for the Legendary Marvel games. Because it's tying in with the series, there's a lot of, like, nitpick and keywords and stuff like that makes sense with the series, but I think can kind of be a little overwhelming trying to learn the game.
Yeah, like we know the game pretty well, and there's a couple of the new keywords where I'm like, hold on, wait, how does this work? Like, what am I doing? And it's not extremely complicated, but it is definitely more so than what's in the base set, I would say. Now, if you have played, like, if you want to get in this game and you've played a lot of other deck building games, it may not matter. It might be fine. But, especially if you're kind of, you know, dipping your toes in those waters, it'd probably be better, unless, again, like you said, you really just love the What If series, to get, like, the first Marvel set. I think it's, or the Marvel Studios base set, which is basically a reskin of the original Marvel set, but with movie captures on it. But,
one of the things that this set has that I don't remember coming across with any of the other sets is you can have some of the villains, if they escape, they can become a new mastermind. They don't replace the mastermind that you have. They just become an additional mastermind. With the exception of Freya, because she has a really special rules set for her. But in general, if you have a escape villain that becomes an additional mastermind, you have to defeat both masterminds in order to win the game.
Yeah, some of the expansions do have that, but I've just kind of avoided putting those in because usually we've been taking on pretty challenging things. Anyway, I'm like, I do not need to add that in. But the last game we played of this, it was a lot.
It was not. I will say and I think this is true for any of the sets or expansions, is that you really want to look at what your mastermind does and what the scheme twist does, and some of them just are going to beat you down if you have them together. And the last game we did, they were two things that shouldn't have gotten together.
Yeah, we had Killmonger as the main villain, and he has something weird that shows up when you also have the Killmonger hero out, which you have to have if you have him. And then the scheme was that party one, and so something weird happened when Freya showed up and she became a mastermind.
And you had to have Party Thor in your hero deck too. Yeah. So you only have 5 heroes in your hero deck, and we had to have 2 of them in there. So it only gave us an option to pick 3 heroes really to put in our deck. Yeah. And just the combination of the 2, I think, was not.
Yeah. To add to it, we also used the Black Order as one of the villain sets, and I don't remember if they all can, but for sure I think we got Corvus Glaive becoming a mastermind as well. So it's like, you know what, Killmonger, and you can't fight Freya when she becomes a mastermind, so that's not as big a deal, I guess. But like, we still have 3 masterminds out there that, you know, their master strike is like, oh my god. So we lost a lot. We lost really bad. But yeah, that's something in the game in general. I mean, if you want like a really stiff challenge, it's fine. Yeah. Like, I could see like doing that and being like, okay, what team can we make that would stand a chance here? Again, that one's up because 2 of your heroes are chosen for you. But I could see doing that. But look at those 2 things together and be like, okay, what does this look like? It's going to be like more of a challenge or too little of a challenge? Like, you can kind of get an idea for it when you look at those things. But yeah, I picked those 2 kind of randomly just to look at it, and they seem fine. Like, they weren't fine at all.
If I would have run out of bed, I would have said no.
Yeah. I should have thought about more, but I was in a mood that day. Wasn't good. Anyway, yeah, I mean, other than that, it's just another starter set in a great series.
All right, so for a final score, I'm gonna kind of almost in a way do 2 scores for this. Sure. I think if you like the What If series, this is a really great game, and if you like the What If series and you like deck builders, I think this is gonna easily be like a 9 for you. If you are new to deck building, and especially if you like Marvel but you haven't seen the What If series, or if you don't like the What If series, I think it's still a fun game, but it's not going to be as enjoyable. So I would probably give it like maybe a 7 and would recommend doing one of the other legendary Marvel games.
That's fair. Yeah, you know, the game Legendary, the Marvel Legendary as a whole, we haven't played like the other offshoots, but as a whole is still like a 10 to me. And our scale's 1 to 10, and 10 doesn't really necessarily mean it's perfect, but any flaws are so vastly overshadowed by the good stuff that I don't even care about those flaws. So to me, the game overall is still a 10, and I am super happy to have this. Much like what you said, if you're adding it to your collection because you want to have these heroes, I mean, they're good. I think I like the keywords. They're just a little more challenging. So, you know, as a starter set, getting into it, again, if you are well versed in deck building games, you're golden. It's fine. If not, it's a little tougher. So I'm going to give it as purely as a standalone thing on its own. I'd give it an 8. But it's almost hard for me to say that. It almost pains me. Like 8, it's a good score, but it sounds low. But it's not low. It's a very good score, and it is a game in general where it's just like it just gets better and more interesting the more you add to it. You're gonna have more schemes and more masterminds and combinations and yada yada yada. But standalone, because it is not that beginner friendly, it's an 8. Yeah, but as an add to your collection, it's fantastic. So,
yeah.
All right, so that's it. We had a lot of scores. I'm not going to say them all again.
I mean, if you averaged them out, it'd be an 8 because I had a 9 and 7. So
that's true. That's true. And we're always happy to play Legendary. I'm probably not going to do a review of every single expansion that comes out unless one's like really cool or really bad. But I haven't seen like a really bad one yet. But they could do it. I mean, every expansion that doesn't have any X-Men is a little bad, but it's okay. All right, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit like and subscribe. Click the little bell icon so you can know about the next time I put out a video. Otherwise, look forward to see you all around the table again at All Games New and Old. Bye. Hey, you made it to the end. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you like it, share it, and click this button to subscribe. If you like that one, you might also like this one.
Or this one.
I cannot believe what I did in that one. Holy cow.
I can.
Of course you can. All right. Anyway, we'll see you around the table.
Bye.
Bye.